Okay, folks, this is philipdwyer here. I'm decided to come down today to the Rock of Dunamase. By the grace of God, I bumped into this man. His name is John Mahon. He's from the Dublin Road, Port Leash.
Yeah. County Leash, of course.
John, thanks for saying hello to me. We got chatting.
Yeah.
And about what's going on in the world, in the country.
Yeah.
And you told me what happened to you, your story. And it's remarkable, but it's disgusting and disgraceful the way you were treated. But do you want to tell us what happened to you? How long ago? 6 years ago, you said?
Roughly 6, maybe 7 years ago now. I can't be exact. But on a Friday afternoon, I was assaulted by 2 Muslims.
Where did this happen, John?
Outside my own home.
Outside your own house?
Yeah.
Okay, and you were saying to me there's a mosque not too far from your house.
There's a mosque not too far from my house, across the road, across the road from where I live.
Yeah.
It's within 5 minutes walking time.
Okay, and we'll say allegedly Muslims, but there is the high probability that these men that were at the mosque.
They were, because the mosque prayers, whatever they're called, was over, and these 2 Muslim chaps, they had their cars parked, and I asked them to know the cars were in the way. They were non-resident of the place. I live in a complex of 8 houses, and when I told them that their cars were in the way, they told me I was racist.
You were racist?
Yeah, racist.
Okay, simply for telling that their cars were blocking your way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I attempted to get something out of the boot of my car, and when I was doing that, I was hit from behind, and I consequently fell forward and hit the curb.
Hit your head off the curb, you said?
Hit my head off the curb. Sustained, I went into an unconscious state. I had to be transferred to the county hospital by ambulance.
Okay. And you were still unconscious. You remained unconscious for how long?
Well, I was kept in the hospital, county hospital, up again me for 3 nights.
3 nights?
3 nights. 3 days and 3 nights. And
you said you were unconscious for maybe a day?
I was unconscious for 48 hours, roughly.
Yeah.
And I was discharged with the...
Did you say you were moved to Beaumont?
No, I went to Beaumont myself and my son.
Yeah.
To interview or for a
consultant,
not a brain surgeon.
Yeah,
chap, a neurologist, not what they call him.
Okay.
And I told him my story, and he told me I could have been worse.
You were lucky to be alive.
Lucky to be alive, or paraplegic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so I mean, it's a very serious concussion. If you're unconscious for 48 hours,
surely
it's a really serious. And are you suffering from vertigo? You were saying, or
I'm suffering from vertigo. Very unsteady on my feet, and I have to go. I'm on medication for that.
Yeah.
And it controls it,
Yeah.
It doesn't cure it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. And I'm saying with an assault like that, a serious injury, that you were probably in a critical condition for 2 days maybe. And the Gardaí must have come on board and really helped you.
The guards there came to the scene in the beginning.
Yeah.
A female and male guard.
Yeah.
But I was escorted to the hospital by ambulance,
Yeah.
And after that then, what happened? I took the issue up with the guards in Port Leash.
Yeah. You made a complaint and
yeah.
Yeah.
And they informed me that if I had to have CCTV to be able to recognise the man or men that assaulted me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I hadn't that.
Yeah. Yeah. So in other words, they kind of put it in there that you didn't have CCTV.
I had no case.
So you have no case.
No case.
No effort to apprehend these men. No effort to do inquiries in the mosque.
No.
Okay.
No, there wasn't.
So after that complaint, did you get any feedback from the Gardaí?
Well, 2 detectives came to me sometime after. I can't say exactly.
Yeah.
I could have been 3 to 4 months, maybe longer.
Yeah.
And one of the detectives told me that I made a very bad statement.
He said you made a very bad statement.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're at that time you were 80 years of age.
I'm
John, you're 86 now. You say?
I'll be 86 next month.
So you were pushing on 80 years of age when this happened. When this happened to you.
I was 78 anyway.
Yeah. And then the Garda come to you and tell you that you made a bad statement.
Yeah. 2 detectives.
Wow. Okay.
I had to tell them to leave.
Okay. And I don't blame you.
Yeah.
And after that, since, have you had any feedback from the Garda? Any investigation?
No. None whatsoever.
Okay. And it's like you said your son came back from Australia.
My son was home from Australia at that time.
Okay.
And he was in the sitting room when this incident happened.
Uh-huh.
And when he came out, my son thought I was dead.
Yeah.
There's no reaction in my pupils.
Yeah.
You know, I was physically, in his eyes, a dead person.
And did he know you had been assaulted?
Yes.
At that time he knew?
He knew.
Okay.
And
where were the 2 individuals that attacked you?
they had gone.
They had...
Well, they have moved on.
Okay.
They were never seen since.
Okay. And so he raised the alarm?
Yeah.
Okay.
And ambulance came. I don't know who it was. Someone raised it anyway. The ambulance came and brought me to the hospital in an unconscious state.
Okay. So subsequent to the getting out of hospital, your son, did he... You're saying he had interaction with the Gardaí?
He had interaction with the Gardaí and on a few occasions. And he was cornered. He was a little bit apprehended by guards in a way, by 2 escort guards. He's warning, kind of give him a warning, you know.
Yeah.
No, that's as far as I know.
A warning to do what though? What was it? The warning?
To keep away, not to be tormenting these people.
And not to go after this issue.
Not to go after this issue at all.
Right.
That happened.
Right. And how did that make you feel, John? I mean, what after all, like when it all was overdone and it sunk in? I leave
a very bitter person.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah.
And a bitter person. These people, families live in this. They live in the complex.
Yeah.
And at no time did any of them come to me to inquire how I was.
Or offer any help that they might know the individuals are.
No.
Because that Muslim community in mosque must be a very kind of a small community. They all would know each other.
They all know one another. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They all attend there.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. It's allegedly they would. I mean, we're not saying for definite, but allegedly they would.
They all know one another.
Yeah.
After the mosque meeting or prayer meeting, they all shake hands with one another.
Yeah.
And they all hug one another.
Yeah.
And it still goes on.
And do you think it's possible that the mosque people didn't realise that there was a major incident that happened, that there was an assault, there was a man nearly killed?
They had to know afterwards.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Okay. And absolutely no help from them offering to identify anyone or information that might lead to
give me any help whatsoever.
Okay. And were you a man all your life? I mean, I'm sure you respected the guards, you had faith in the guards.
Yeah. I was never in trouble with the guards.
Yeah.
I went to Australia to work for some years.
Yeah.
And went back there last year.
Mm-hmm.
But this thing never happened to anyone before. Never happened to me before.
Nothing like this.
Nothing like this.
Yeah.
Either here or in Australia.
I mean, it must have been very demoralising. Psychologically, it must have affected you badly.
Well, I took it leaves you in a very angry situation.
Yeah, and you probably feel vulnerable or felt vulnerable then as well. It could happen to you so easily that the peace and quiet from an area like this.
You have to say to yourself, you have to be careful coming and going to the house I live in, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you said to me earlier too, I mean, you're actually thinking of leaving Ireland now. You're thinking of...
I'm considering it.
Yeah. 86 years of age, and you're so...
I'm 86.
You're so angry with what's going on.
Yeah.
You're looking to leave Ireland and sell up.
That's what I'll have to do. That's what I will do, because that's where my family is living, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I have 2 in Australia, and I have a daughter here. I live in the residence now,
Yeah,
where I live.
yeah,
There's a complex of 8 houses,
yeah.
and 4 of the houses are rented to Muslims.
Okay. And I mean, we're alleging they're Muslim because they were at the mosque. The mosque was on that evening.
Yeah,
It was
the
a Friday.
Muslims.
It was a Friday evening, yeah.
Friday afternoon.
Friday afternoon, and that's when they have their whatever they have, their ceremonies or whatever.
Have this prayer meeting.
A prayer meeting, yeah. And as I said, they were definitely not Irish people. They were more than 99% Muslims, you're sure.
I'm certain.
And your son, when he was trying to make inquiries about this or push this, he was told to back off.
Back off.
By the
guards.
Irish guards, yeah. And I've seen incidents all around the country, and we've heard that the victims always seem to disappear into thin air. John, you know, but you don't seem to want to disappear into thin air. You're not afraid to speak out about this.
I'm not one bit afraid.
Yeah.
I could be a dead man for all.
And did any local newspapers, any RTE or any of them?
I never got any write up whatsoever, good, bad, or indifference.
No.
None.
And as we said, if it was myself or yourself that assaulted someone, we'd be locked up.
Well, you'd be interviewed by the guard.
You definitely would be, yeah. You would, yeah. So, John, listen, I'm really delighted you stopped to talk to me, and I'm really sorry for what happened to you.
That's okay.
I'm really sorry for what happened to you. Philipdwyer. And,
okay, Philip.
You know, guys, isn't it shocking that a man of 86 years of age...
I don't expect anything to happen from this.
Well, it should.
It should.
Yeah. It should happen.
Yeah.
And please God, somebody somewhere will, maybe in the guards or somewhere as well, will pick it up and get something done, investigate this further. I think these 2 individuals could be found. And who knows what they would do to anybody else who said the wrong thing or looked them the wrong way. I
was only told these 2 gentlemen to bring their cars out of the way.
Yeah.
They weren't living there.
No.
They just parked their cars there unofficially.
Yeah.
And they told me it was racist.
Yeah.
And I turned around to get something out of the back of the car.
Yeah.
I woke up in the county hospital sometime afterwards.
This is John, this is unfortunately what we're living with in Ireland today. and that happened to you 6 years ago. So
maybe 6, maybe 7 years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
But I can't. Okay. I have the copy of the Bournemouth report.
John, I wish you all the best.
Yeah.
And thanks again for talking to me.
Yeah.